This is print reading for construction. I'll be going over Unit 9, Architectural Drawings. So our learning objective is we're going to identify the different types of drawings that are classified as architectural drawings. We have many different types of drawings and we're going to understand those. We're going to be able to list different types of floor plans used in construction. So you will see lots of floor plans. You may even see the same floor plan, but they're different in their type. And we'll describe the purposes of elevations, sections, and details. We've spoken about that before. An elevation is looking at something from the bottom up as if you were facing that. A section is also like an elevation, looking at it from the top, from the bottom up. But it's if you were to slice into it like a pie or a cake. And a details is usually a larger drawing showing you more information, more detail, closer view. We'll be able to identify materials that are specified in architectural drawings, and we'll be able to interpret the construction requirements. So we'll be able to know how to build that specified architectural building that matches that drawing. Some of the terms that you'd be using: architectural drawings, a detail, elevation, floor plan, schedule, sections. Remember, a schedule is like a list made of rows and columns in combination with each other. There could be a lighting schedule. There could be a door schedule. There could be a paint schedule. Lots of different areas of a house that are going to take, parts of a house that are going to take different combinations of paints and colors and stains. So a schedule is the most appropriate way to organize that information. Architectural drawings, they show the material and the process of how the construction happens when you're building that structure. Drawings are going to specify interior and exterior materials, any requirements for a roof system. You'll see how walls are located and positioned, and partitions. You'll see the location of windows and doors. You'll be able to see where insulation is going to be installed within the walls or the ceilings, any finishes that may go on those walls, and you'll make up the core. Architectural drawings basically make up the core set of drawings on a project. Your main ideas, your main understanding of the project is going to be coming from the architectural drawings. Any other drawings that there are will be drawings that are explained more in detail from what's observed in your architectural drawings. Typically identified with the prefix A. So sometimes they just number the pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And usually those first pages are going to be architectural drawings. Or if it's a more commercial or following a certain design protocol, like a numbering system, the letter A would be included in the numbering system. So all the pages laid with A would fall under the architectural category. Here's that example. All these drawings, and this is your table of contents. You can see starting from A0, and they use the decimal points to help. And they've got A0s, they have ADs for demolition plans, they have A1s for the first floor and the second floor plans, let's say first lower roof plan. Then they have A2s for the lower floor plan, first floor plan, A2, first floor plan, different sectors. So all of these are first floor plans. of different part of a building. Second floor plan, again, different sectors or sections of the building. Then you have enlarged plans, the A3s, or enlarged plans and elevations. So here, this first section here showed you was mostly floor plans, demolition plans, floor plans. Now we start getting into interior, exterior elevation. So we're looking at views, how the building looks from a standing on the ground position. Whereas a floor plan is like you in a bird's eye view, an aerial view looking down. Then we also have some sections. Sections give you more information about like slicing through a particular floor plan or slicing through a particular wall section so that you see what it looks like from the top down, for example, like an elevation, but through a section in a particular direction of a view. And then you have details, which are like a close-up view of more information at a closer view with important information that needs to occur. And then you have, see, you got door and window storefront elevations. That's just saying what the front of the building would look like with its doors and windows and where they'd be located, because you're going for a particular architectural look. Then there's more second floor enlarged plans, reflected ceiling plans, just to show you how the ceiling tiles are going to go and where the lighting panels will be located. And then structural foundation, you have structural plans. So we've now left, that's the number of the quantity of architectural drawings. Now you're going into a new section, a structural section, which is not part of this unit. Architectural drawings. So they're organized based on the floor plans. If you remember, we saw the floor plans in that big first group. And then they went into the elevations and the sections, and then details and schedules. Let's go back. Floor plans, elevations, sections, details, enlarged views. Now, this particular job was a remodel job, so they had a section for demolition. And because demolition went first, they want to show you what the building looks like now and what they want you to do to it. They want you to start demolishing all of this stuff before you start putting in the stuff that goes in the new first floor plan. So the floor plans, they show the layout of a building. Again, a bird's eye view. If you were in a drone or a helicopter looking down on an area of a building, or if you were over on a table looking down on the set of plans, a scale drawing. That's in the view. The plan view is always from up above looking down. Whenever you hear the term plan, it's from a particular view. And those floor plans are usually drawn in a 1/4 inch scale. So when you have a set of drawings, floor plans usually come in 1/4 inch. They could be bigger, but it may not be necessary. They're generated by making a cut at 42 to 48 inches above the floor. So if I were to imagine this is a wall, let's see. If I were to imagine this is a wall, and this is the thickness of the wall, right? Looking at it from one end. But I'm looking at it from the plan view, I'm looking at it down on top of the wall. So if I was looking at it here, I'd be looking at a section, right? If I were to fold the paper, I'd be looking at it a section. So the same wall, when I fold it this way, that's really what I'm looking at. A section of the wall at 42 to 48 inches above the finished floor. So I'm looking down not at the top of the wall. I'm not looking at this part of the wall. I'm imagining I slice through the middle of the wall, and what I'm looking at in a plan is a map of the room with the walls cut in half. So if I'm up in the air looking down, what I'm seeing are lines like this and lines like that of half of the wall. Not the whole wall, but half of the wall from the air like that. So that's what the lines are that you see on a floor plan. Okay? Then they serve as a reference for other types of drawings. So once you have the floor plans, then there will be other plans, floor plans that are used, but not necessarily telling you where the walls are. You know where the walls are now, so you understand that part of the floor plan. But maybe the walls are telling you, the plan is saying where you're going to put the lighting, the electrical wiring, where the finishes are going to go. Something separate from just where the plan is on the floor. So that's why they say they serve as a reference, because once you got your general floor plan, it'll get copied again on different pages. But the architectural floor plans are basically telling you where the walls go. And then there could be other types of drawings, which we've mentioned earlier, electrical drawings, mechanical drawings. So they serve as that reference for those other types of drawings. So that's where there's framing plans, mechanical plans, electrical plans, plumbing plans. So here's an example of a residential floor plan. It's got a lot going on. You see all these dimension lines around the outside of this building. And you see they stretch to certain points, like the center line of a window, or the corner of a wall, the corner of a bump out in a wall from a particular section, and then from one corner to the next, an interior corner. They show you the locations of columns and the center, usually the center to center points for those columns. And then you can see the lines, the solid lines that represent the wall. There's a window. Looks like a window to a master bathroom, which looks like right in line with the center of a bathtub. I believe this area is a shower. There's the shower door, the X indicating that the drains, it slopes down to the center drain, the floor. Here you can see this little room with some type of shelving on the wall. Then around past a wall, which is another room, which it's not really a room, it is the staircase going upwards to the next level. Oh, or maybe this, in case, downwards down to the basement. It depends. You have to see the arrow in the direction. Here is another window. As we leave the staircase area, you see we're in the foyer entryway to the house. This is porch. Right here it says foyer. And then this is the terrace, some outside area terrace. So and then as you pass through what looks like to be the dining room and some window, and then the wall turns. So this box here jets around. This is your garage. And then way in the back corner there's a bathroom. Here's a kitchen. Great room with a fan. Master bedroom. Master bathroom. So a lot going on. And all these lines and arrows, they're telling you something specific. So as you get closer and you read and zoom in and read this, you get a better understanding of all of those parts and components. And if you were playing a role in building this building, then those would be significant enough for you to pay attention to and get actual into the measurements and design. measurements and sizes, because this is a scale drawing, and those objects are will be taking up real space, and you will be fitting them in their real space, just like you see in this floor plan. Here's a commercial floor plan example. Same thing, except the walls are thicker. The shading is different because they want you to, maybe they're going to be solid concrete walls, and or they may be shaded for some other reason. But here you have what is referred to as a window symbol identification. So there's a number here that talks about this specific window, which will probably be on some other list on a door schedule, but it's showing you that it's referenced here with a number. This is referred to as a revision cloud. You see this, what looks like a cloud. What that cloud is there for is because what was once this original drawing, this stuff was added in. It was missed in a previous version. So this page has been revised. See that symbol of a triangle with a number? That's saying that this cloud is part of revision number 1. So if there's been any changes to the drawing, that was the first change. So what was once an original drawing now has been modified with new information, and what is new is in that cloud. Over here is the symbol for the section view. So it's saying I would like to see what this wall looks like in the direction of this arrow. If I were to slice through that wall and look through the end of the wall. So getting back to this example, before a floor plan showed us the section of the wall looking at it like this. Now an elevation, this is an elevation looking at it from the bottom of the wall to the top of the wall, but a section says that I'm going to take a slice of that wall and look at it like this, or take a slice of that wall and look at it in a different direction. See, or this way. Different directions. Basically, you're looking at the end of a wall. This is the section right here. Plans classified under floor plans. You've got your demolition plans. You've got your reflective ceiling plans. You have enlarged plans. You have floor finish plans and overview plans. And that's exactly what they do. The demolition plans show you the floor plan, but with notes and comments that are telling you of what's going to be demolished and removed from that particular plan. I mean, that is the plan, is to demolish from that space. And that plan will tell you what's going to be demolished. You're not going to demolish the whole building. You're going to demolish some of the guts, the floor, the walls, some finishes, fixtures. And then a reflective ceiling plan would show you what the ceiling would look like if you were laying on your back looking up at the ceiling. And then you would see that layout of that ceiling, which might be made up of ceiling tiles and also light fixtures. And then enlarged plans are a close-up view of a particular part of a plan. And then there's floor finish plans. Again, a plan that focusing on the floor, letting you know what kind of materials are going to be used on that floor and how it's going to be finished. And then overview plans, just general ideas, things they want you to know, basic things in an overview. So here's a demolition plan. So what looks like a gymnasium and some bleachers. There's some comments and notes that may be referring to things that need to go and need to be removed and scrapped. This is a reflective ceiling plan. So you've got all these symbols letting you know where there's going to be the location of HVAC vents and registers for heating registers and air conditioning registers. They're going to let you know where the location of light fixtures are going to go. And also ceiling tiles. And they're going to be arranged in this layout. So it's a reflected ceiling plan, so it's like you're looking at the floor being brought down to the ceiling. Now, here's the enlarged plans. It's a close-up view. So what you see here is we're looking at a bathroom, and it's enlarged so that we can get a better view at some of this drawing notes, because all of these numbers are notes on particular information in this drawing. Drawing notes are located within this symbol of this hexagon symbol, this six-sided box. So anywhere you see a six-sided box with a number in it, it's referred to, matches up to the notes here. So I see number 1 there, pointing to 2 lines, 2 directions, calling it the column center line, typical, which is saying this center line is typical throughout the drawing. And then there's the number 3, which is saying that's the steel column referred to in structural drawings. So if you see it, it's pointing right to that, looks like the letter I, which is a steel column, which is right on the center line, on the center of the steel column in 2 directions. So again, there's number 3, there's another steel column. So I would imagine there'd be column here. Yep, and there's number 3 that matches up with it, which means there'd be another column over here. So if I'm the steel guy, I'm getting useful information. I don't care where the toilets go. I care where the steel columns are located. Someone else is going to care about where these plumbing fixtures go. But these notes refer to, the foundation retaining wall, number 4. Let's see if we can find number 4 somewhere. A little hard to see, kind of small. But this is a general idea on a large set of plans. You match up the notes, again, that are in these hexagon boxes. Again, notice the symbols here. Look, this is even letters upside down because it's saying you'd be looking at it from this direction. See the arrow in this section? It's telling you if I were to slice through that section of wall, again in this plan, excuse me, again, when I'm looking at a plan view of that section of wall, and I were to slice through it, they would give me that wall, show me what that section would look like. So that's what these symbols are. They're telling you on the drawing number and the page number where you'll find that particular view of that drawing. So this is referring to another drawing for that view, what you're going to see. Otherwise, what you see here in these enlarged plans are the notes that are associated to all these different boxes that are numbered. Elevations, they show you the vertical layout of the building, the vertical layout from up and down, and they show you what it looks like inside or outside of that particular view. They'll define the construction materials. So you often see lines that go, oh yeah, it looks like there's siding on there, and you'll read the note and it'll tell you the 1x6 vertical siding. And then sometimes there's certain points on marks where elevations are measured, and so it'll show you important elevation marks and section cuts. Usually one elevation for each exterior face of a building. And they're identified by the side of a building or compass direction. So when I'm looking at an elevation, I'm like, what am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the north wall. I'm looking at the south wall, the east wall, or the exterior east facing wall. So as you can see here, this is what an elevation would look like for a big commercial building. You notice this drawing says east elevation, east elevation. So we're looking at the same side of the same building. One big long building that's so long that it breaks right here at this line, and then it continues at this other break line in the other direction. I mean, in the same direction. So this is one long building, and it continues. Just they had to break it to make it fit on the page. And then over here you see the south elevation. So from a different direction totally, seeing what it looks like from the south side. And over here you've got these symbols that represent points in height. You got a lot of them here, 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 here. They're telling you key points. Would we say usually one elevation? Let's see. Define. Vertical elevation marks. So those are the vertical elevation marks, telling you those are actual measurements in height. So if this is the ground and this is the roof line, you know that you've got those distances. So when you want to know how tall am I going to make the wall, you'd be referring to some of these elevation marks, so you know where the top of the wall is supposed to finish at. Here's some more of elevations. Let's see. Types of elevations. Remember I mentioned you've got the interior view, you have the exterior view, the interior view. And what you're looking at, you'll see doors, the location of doors, the location of windows. You'll see gutters and roof lines. You'll see what looks like some symbol that's indicating some type of material. Do you see brick? Do you see siding? It'll show underground features with hidden lines. So when you're looking at the elevation, you might see something underground, showing you maybe what's underground, like a foundation, like some utilities. On the interior, you'll see the walls. You'll see how bathrooms are laid out, where cabinets are laid out, and any architectural window walls. So saying that if a window is going to have some special features like trim, then that interior elevation is going to show you that. Casing, used when an interior feature has complex details. So when there's a lot going on and they want you to be aware of it, they're going to show you an interior elevation. Sometimes you'll never see an interior elevation because there's nothing to see. So they just assume that you will just assume you know that it's just a plain wall. So here's an example of an elevation, two views, two different directions. So you're looking at some stalls here, an accessible bathroom unit, an accessible bathroom. So this symbol, some people like to say it's the handicap symbol. In construction and professional architectural world, we call this accessibility, because that's really what it is. We're making a space more accessible for people with certain, we don't want to say handicap because it's not necessarily a handicap, with certain requirements like needing large space. I'm a big guy. I'm probably claustrophobic trying to go into that bathroom stall. I'd be much more comfortable with some larger space. The same goes for a person who would be using a wheelchair or a walker, or someone that's going to go in there with their child. So they're more accessible. Here's an elevation, residential elevation. You can see the roofing materials here. You can see the siding. See these numbers telling you that this line, indicating that this lines are horizontal siding. You can see that the notes are telling you what type of trim to use, and telling you to use 1x trim board. Over here it's telling you to trim the outside of the vent, and it's telling you the location of the bottom of the vent from the peak of the roof. Here you can see the symbol where it's indicating the pitch of the roof, so you get an idea of the steepness of the roof. Over here it's telling you you've got some trim, you've got some shutters made of cedar planks. So it's going so far as to tell you the material. Light weight stone sill. So here is telling you to use the stone sill that goes over a lightweight stone veneer. A layer or a skin is a veneer of stone on top of what would probably be a plywood and wood wall. Down here are the hidden lines. So this is like the foundation footing for the house, as well as down here, because the house could be on a hillside and this footing could be at such a lower level that there's a room or a basement underneath the back part of the house. So again, here you can see an elevation of a big parking garage and a building, with notes telling you if you want to know more information through this section. There's an E number, page number, a D page number, a C page number, referring to these sections. See, the line goes all the way through the garage, practically underground, and it's showing you that it's looking this way and it's looking this way, and the arrow is telling you it's looking this way. So you can see that this drawing is referring to other drawings on other pages, and you're saying if you want to know what it looks like right here in slicing that building and looking at me like that direction, then go to that page. And then over here there's some notes that are in boxes, that same hexagon. So over off to the side there will be some notes, or on another page that are still indicating of these finishes and these materials, telling you what's going to be located here, tell you what goes here, tell you what's going on up there. Here are those office levels. It's telling you the elevation to every floor, so you know the math on where to locate each floor and the distance between separating each floor. Interior elevations showing you what a fireplace would look like with a mantle and some columns. So if you were the carpenter, you get an idea of what they would want to have installed, and then you would be assigned to build something of that looks like that. But of course you would probably take more detailed measurements and generate your own drawing, which is called a shop drawing. And you'd say, based on your drawing, I've defined some more details on how I would build it, and you'd return a drawing back that they would approve. So this is used as a reference. Again, here showing you elevation. These lines are telling you where tile's going to go in a room. So they show you patterns That's why they went so far as to give you an elevation to show you where the location of the mirror is to go, and how the mirror is going to lay on top of and over the tile, and it's going to be framed on the wall, and it says by owner. So the owner is going to come back and install that mirror. And this decorative wall sconce by owner. So these are a couple of items that the owner is going to provide later. Here it's showing you tile that will be selected by the owner. So the owner is saying, hey, I want you to do tile. I'll pick out the tile, but you're going to purchase it and you're going to install it. And then I'll pay you for the finished product. See this symbol, this triangle dotted symbol like that? It's telling you how a door would swing. So the arrow, think of this as an arrow. It is pointing to the side that received the hinges. So there'd be a hinge here, and the door would swing on that pivot point. Here, same thing. It's telling you, see, this would be where your doorknob would be, and that's where the hinges would be. So elevations play important information. They show you here the height, the tops of all the windows are at 12 foot 8 inches. And you've got dimensions, 11 by 2 by 7 foot 8 Stanley auto sliding door. 11 by 2 by 7 foot 8 auto sliding door. So these are automatic doors. Big windows with arches on the top. Sections. They're used to clarify construction of a particular item, a wall, a roof, a chimney. They're drawn at a larger scale to give you more information, more complete information. And they're taken from a plan or a drawing elevation. We saw that. We saw in a drawing plan, and we saw in an elevation where they showed sections. A section symbol or a line that takes you to another page. So let's look at some of that. So remember, they were identified by a cutting plane, that line, that symbol that went through that part. And so now we're looking at that slice. This may be slicing through the middle of the house. So we see the roof, the ceiling. We see the insulation. That's what that little loopy symbol is insulation. We see the walls going through the bedroom. We see a closet. We see the bathroom, another bedroom. And we can see the floor that top floor is on. And then we see the thickness of the floor, the bottom of the floor underneath, which represents the ceiling underneath. And then the next room, underneath that part of the house, we were cutting through the kitchen and the walk-in closet and the hallway. And just like I suspected in that original drawing, it showed you what was underground was the bottom footing, those lines showing you the grade beams down here, which meant that this house had some type of basement going on. So this commercial building section, look, it's showing you the foundation stuff that is happening down underground. And up above, it's showing you what's happening up. Those are ceiling joists. Ceiling or roof rafters. This is showing you the drop-down ceiling. And then this dotted line is connected to a box with a symbol that says drawing 1 on page A, whatever, whatever. You can get a close-up view of what's happening in this room. Again, over here you see these elevation symbols telling you these little crosshatch and markers showing you the heights of stuff. Here's a wall section, right through a wall from the roof down to the foundation, showing you how the foundation is arranged, showing you how the foundation is placed. The top of the foundation with a marker where the first floor begins. There is the floor on the other side, so that when it counts for dimensions to the next level, it tells you where the top of any masonry is. Here again is that symbol, which will probably take you to a closer view of what's happening here. And here's all the material notes. So each one of these numbers is identifying and pointing out all the different components of material. All of this telling you where's the sand, where's the dirt, where's the concrete, where's the glass. It's all matched up with a number here that's pointed out here. Remember that section that I told you was on this page? Here we are looking at it now. Detail 1A510. That's what this said. 1A510. Now we see what's in there and a closer view of what's happening. And we see some lumber material and some steel I-beams, and we see insulation, and we see the roof structural components, and we see the metal flashing, and we see the roofing material. All made, the detail made at a larger section. Here's the section of we saw in that house where it showed the section going through the stairway. Now we get to see what it looks like. And this is like slicing through the middle of the stairs, going down to the basement. So remember when I said I'm not sure if it's going up or going down? It was going down to this basement. And you see from the basement, the walls and the floors, and cutting right through the middle of the stairs, so that when I'm ready to build the stairs, I know that one level of my first floor, my second level of my lower level, so I could do the math. So I can do the math to determine what the height of each riser is, up to 14 risers. So then if I want to have 14 risers, whatever that math is from here to here, I divide by 14. In this case it says 7.5 inches, but maybe it ends up in reality being 7 inches 5/8 of an inch. If you're the stair builder, then those dimensions are going to matter to you. Here's another plan detail. So it's a plan detail. It's slicing in the plan view. So I'm looking at a detail, close-up view, but not in an elevation, not a section. It's the detail of a plan, closer view, looking right at what's happening through the beam. And remember, a plan is at 42 to 48 inches above the ground. So we're seeing what's happening at this column, which might be the column of the corner of a building in relationship to the walls associated with it. But there's the steel I-beam, and then here are the components that wrap around the steel I-beam. So when you look at a finished building, you don't see the steel I-beams because they're covered. Schedules, that list of material that produces, list of materials or products required in a structure, right? It's that list of rows and columns. They specify the types, sizes, and number of items required. Usually a symbol or a tag is given to each item, both on the schedule and the drawing. So you might have symbols for all the doors. You might have symbols and numbers for all the windows. Then you'd come to the schedule and you'd find those matching symbols so that you could go get further information of those doors, those windows, or further information about that wall and the room finish that it's going to take, or an accessory like a light fixture. So where you'd see on the drawing a bunch of numbered symbols, you'd match up those numbered symbols to the list on the schedule, which would give you more information, like tell you the model number of a light fixture, tell you the color to paint that wall. So here's that schedule, a door and frame schedule. So there'll be doors throughout the drawing. You might see doors and you'd see a number. You'd come to this page and you go, yep, that is the office door. And it is 3 foot by 7. And I could tell on the plan, I measured it in scale, it was 3 foot wide. But now I know that it's a 7 foot door, not a 6 foot 8 door. So now I know how to make the opening of that door when I frame it. And I see that it's 1 3/4 thick door, big thick commercial door, not those 1.5 thinner doors that you see in a residence. So here you can see all the doors accounted for, and then doors are given various categories: their size, their type, their material, the door, and then the door frame. Again, the type of door frame and the type of material. So it'll tell you if you're going to be using wood or metal. It's going to be a fire rated door. Here's that schedule continued. So this is one that you would see on a drawing. See? A room finish schedule. This one was a door frame schedule. They look different because this was drawn by hand with the pencils. Sometimes schedules are just drawn like that. So the font's a little different, but you get the idea. You got room numbers here. You got the name of those rooms associated. And then it tells you some information about the floor. And it's got, so you can see that CT, ceramic tile, CPT, carpet, CPT, carpet, PT, paint, paint. Is that AC something? VC, vinyl cover base. So VC for your baseboard, vinyl cover base, or V for vinyl tile. Okay. So this is a finish schedule telling you carpet, paint, the baseboard. Here's an accessory fixture scale. So again, list of numbers you see throughout the plan. Now you know you can match up that tag number. And then it goes so far as to tell you the model number, and that it's a toilet paper holder model number made by Boric. It's a soap dispenser model number made by Boric. So the number 3s on the wall is telling you that there is a soap dispenser there. So careers in construction: architect, licensed professional who plans and designs buildings, works with clients, engineers, and contractors. Visits the job site and approves submittals, ensures quality standards are met, requires a bachelor's or a master's degree, internship at architectural firms, and passing a state license exam. So your dream may one day to become an architect. Think about becoming a project manager, construction manager, The CM is someone that hires the architect and is also directly involved in all of this planning, but from a different perspective, from the person who's representing the owner and spending the money and managing budgets. And a construction manager also sees a project from inception to conception, like an architect. But in the past, the architect was the first person that was part of the project that the owner would hire. Now, an owner will hire a consultant known as a construction manager, the CM, and help them establish the budgets and do the planning, the pre-planning, before it's even time for an architect. And you don't even have to go to much school. Learning construction, learning your trades, and learning more about the business and the industry might be your avenue. So another way to approach the construction industry. And you'll learn enough about and seen enough construction drawings that you too could be equally as knowledgeable as an architect by learning the trade from the other side, from the construction side. By reading plans, and having experience with that, you learn enough about design that you can have your own opinions about how things are designed and built. So that's it. At this point, I recommend you take the test your knowledge assignment. If it is something that I'm issuing for credit, which I think I will, then you will be able to test your knowledge, fill out that information in Bluebeam, submit it to me, and you'll get your credit for it. All right, that's it. Thank you very much.